All right, I'm back. Ooh, that head is shiny. Yo. Are you there?
Hi, Sensei.
Ooh, you're delayed on my screen.
What do you mean?
Talk again.
Talk again.
Okay, that's better. Your light's awfully bright on that shiny forehead of yours.
I've got it turned down pretty low, actually.
That's better. That's better. Just like when you're right up on the screen, it's like super bright. Makes your face super
That makes
white.
sense.
So, anyway. Okay.
Perfect way to start the stream, right?
There you go.
A giant old belch right in the ears.
Oh, we didn't even
Right
bother.
in there.
I didn't even bother checking recording levels. We'll just have to deal with it now. It's too late.
Oh yeah, too late. It's okay. We got this.
Yeah.
We got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. What?
I just
You're not
pointed to the
playing
sign.
the you're
just
not
pointed
playing
to
the
the
music yet.
No, there's just music playing.
Yeah. Got more rum and coke right here.
Do you know what that actually is from? What movie that's actually from? It's not obviously it's not from our movie. Shoulder.
No.
Footloose. Everybody dance at the end with Kevin Bacon when he slides across the. So look at that.
Dang thing. I thought I could have gotten a reaction out of you.
The original with Kevin Bacon,
With
not
Kevin Bacon.
not the remake that was done a few years ago.
There's a remake?
Yep.
Did not hear that.
I like this song. I don't know why, but I do.
Well, hey, let's start. It's after 8. Come on.
I know. I just now sent the notifications out. I should have sent them out earlier, and I got busy trying to do something for Mom. And
Come on.
so anyway, so I'm just giving it a few minutes. Plus, I just like listening to the song. Playing Hatchback Racer by Odd Vibe, apparently.
It is an odd vibe. It's good but weird. Oh baby, who make you feel? You look. How's Oh, we're gonna rock on down the electric boogaloo. And then we'll take it higher. And then we'll take it higher.
It's kind of a strange mashup, but okay.
What? What? I love that song.
I hate it.
Avenue?
I always hated that song. I always hated that song.
Really?
I just never
Yeah,
liked
I
that
like
song.
it.
No, never liked that song. Even when it was out on the radio when I was
We gonna
whatever
rock
it was out.
on down the electric boogaloo, and then we'll take it higher.
Man, I wish this little cough would go away. So your mother and your other brother are watching a documentary about mushrooms.
Okay, why?
Luke kind of became obsessed with mushrooms on the Appalachian Trail, finding edible mushrooms and all the benefits of mushrooms and all that.
That does
kind
make
of
sense, since they're honestly a great source of zinc, copper, nitric acids, all kinds of good stuff.
Yep. So anyway, so that's what they're doing. Okay, I guess we should kind of go ahead and get started.
Oh, Dad.
Yes.
There's this new documentary on Discovery Plus. I think Mom would like. It's called The Curse of Chippendales.
Yeah, no, she wouldn't be interested in that.
Really? Yeah.
No. Why would
she
she?
loves true crime stuff.
But why would she be interested in a true crime story about male strippers?
Because it's this whole secret background to the club itself.
Nah, she wouldn't be interested in that one. So okay, so I guess we should probably go ahead and get started.
Yes, let's get
I wish
started.
I'd finish that. Okay, I'm gonna start the music. Yeah.
Let's get started. Let's
Okay.
go. Come on, let's do this. Let's rock it. Let's zoom it. Let's boom it. Come on.
Okay.
Start it already.
All right. So are you done?
I'm waiting for you to start it. Yes.
Are you done? I'm waiting for you to stop so I have a moment of silence to start the music for the audio podcast that I've got to record. How about that? Cool? Is your screen frozen? Okay. Here we go. Let me stop coughing first. And the dancing starts, which is appropriate for tonight's show.
You better dance too then.
I'm going to do the Caddyshack groundhog dancing. I wish I knew how to do the old man Six Flags dance, because this is that kind of music.
Exactly. Yeah, look it up. That's what YouTube is for.
Boy! So. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 63 of the Gene Pool Variety Hour. I am Sean, I'm the old guy of the group, I'm Dad, and the guy on the other screen is...
What is up, guys? It's your boy, Quillmeister, a.k.a. Connor, and I am just super happy to be back here again.
That was very well done and not over the top. It was almost professional. I'm impressed. You're losing your touch.
I wanted to be more goofy. That's my hook. That's why people are on Team Connor. Hashtag Team Connor. Hashtag Team Connor lives forever. Or hashtag Team.
No. Just
Team Sean sucks.
Just hashtag Team Connor. That's all we need. Just hashtag Team Connor.
Then make the shirt.
Yeah, I know. I need to do that. Anyway, welcome to the Gene Pool.
The entire Sexton family would love those shirts.
I'm sure they would. We just kind of hang out and review random movies and
get drunk.
No, we don't do that.
I know.
Come on. We review random movies and we always have a geek debate question and we chase a lot of chickens, hence chase, and just talk about nerdy stuff because that's what we are. We're the nerds of the house and nobody else is. So
you're the nerd of the house.
I was just
my own house now.
I was just telling Connor that while we're recording this in the living room, my wife, his mom, and one of my other
brother,
the middle son, one of the who's 22, who just got back from a 6-month Appalachian Trail through hike. He did the entire 2,200 miles. Just got back Sunday.
Woo!
They are, yeah. So they are in the living room watching a documentary about mushrooms and analyzing that and talking about all the health benefits of mushrooms and that kind of stuff. So that's the difference
Studying
between
some mycology, huh?
that's the difference between you and I and them. Right?
Now hold on. I could get into a good documentary series. It's just be in a subject that that I find interesting.
Just not about mushrooms.
Essentially, yes.
Okay. So anyway, so
Anything involving animals.
They're the more scientific brain people in our family. And Connor and I
I'm
are
more swords and magic.
We're more the swords and magic kind of people, and sci-fi and whatever else. So
you're more sci-fi. I am more swords and magic.
That's true. I am. I mean, I broke my teeth.
Mythology.
I mean, I do love like Lord of the Rings. I love Dungeons and Dragons and that kind of stuff, and I love those kind of things.
Star Trek.
But when it comes to movies, I tend to go much more on the sci-fi side of things.
Yes, we are Legion. We are the nerds of the family. Good to see you, Riley.
So we're definitely the nerds of the family. So anyway, usually we start out with kind of an update on what's been going on. So any kind of fun, interesting, nerdy stuff for you these days? Not regular life, because regular life is boring for us. So nerdy stuff.
Let's see, nerdy stuff. Not. I recently got HBO Max.
Okay.
And
so I guess that'll add to our queue then, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And I've been binge watching Big Bang Theory.
Man.
What?
You know, speaking of Big Bang Theory, I was watching the other day.
Oh, you started the first chicken. That's rare.
I did. So, you know, if you get on YouTube, sometimes you can see that these shows, like big shows, Big Bang Theory, Game of Thrones, other shows, they'll have video clips of the cast sitting around doing the table read of the final show, of the script from the final show, of the end of the script reading from the final show. And so, like, at the end of Game of Thrones, spoiler alert, I don't watch the show, but I know how it ends. So when one guy stabbed one woman at the end and they're reading that as it happens, they're reacting very emotionally because they didn't know it was going to happen. But there's a table read. If you get on YouTube, there's a table read of the cast of Big Bang Theory reading through the last scene of the last episode and how they all just completely fall apart. And you remember in the season finale, when they're sitting around, the series finale. Did you see the series finale?
I've seen clips of it, but I haven't actually.
So
watched it yet.
At the end, as they're sitting around the living room again, the Big Bang Theory theme song starts playing, but it's Sheldon that's singing it, right? Sheldon is singing it, and so when they're doing the final table read, all of a sudden when it comes to that part, all of a sudden they start playing a recording of Sheldon singing that song, and they lose it. Kaylee and Kaczynski and Indian guy. What's his real name?
I don't know his real name.
So those guys they're just bawling. You can't help but fall apart watching that. So anyway, so that was kind of cool. So I like watching some of those sometimes.
I get it.
All right, so cool. Been binge watching Big Bang Theory.
And I actually found my next big binge for this weekend.
What's that?
It turns out HBO Max has all of the Harry Potter movies.
Okay. I haven't seen a single one, but okay.
But okay with that. Just to put into words, Harry Potter is to me what Lord of the Rings is to you.
Oh, I get that. I absolutely get that. And the Harry Potter series is what got you to love reading.
Exactly.
So I will forever love that series for those reasons. I got that. I just never got into them because the books were too stinking long for me. I didn't have time, and
you read Lord of the Rings just fine, and they're just as long.
Oh goodness, no, man. I mean, one Harry Potter book is almost 1,000 pages long. It's 800 pages long.
No, the first book is like 400 at most.
That's the point I'm making. They're much longer than the Lord of the Rings books. They are.
But that's because there's more content to them. And with
Maybe so.
with the Lord of the Rings books, Tolkien can basically go on for 10 pages describing one tree. Am I
Therein lies the
wrong?
beauty of Tolkien's writing because it's so visual. You can actually see what he's writing about. It's really cool. And
But
a lot of people don't like that style of
but
writing.
there,
A lot of people don't like that style of writing, and I get that. I just did, and it may be that I just happened to read Tolkien at the right time in my life. Because a lot of other people that I
I
know
get
and I
that.
appreciate, they read it at a different time in their life, and they're like, I don't get it. But I just read it in like middle school, high school, when I was deep getting into the Dungeons and Dragons stuff, and so it just all clicked.
I
And
get
then
that. I'm kind of the same way when it comes to Harry Potter.
right, yeah,
I read it right at the height
yeah,
of its
yeah,
popularity,
and then
and it really got me hooked in.
as I got older and started understanding more about Tolkien and his faith and how his faith informed a lot of his writing of what he wrote, that there's a lot of Christian allegory
Didn't
and
he? Didn't
metaphor.
he serve in World War One?
Yeah. So a lot of Christian metaphor and analogies are in the storylines of Lord of the Rings that gave it another layer of the books that I love. So
Yeah,
anyway,
I
and
got that.
as I got older and became an adult, because I just saw it at a different level. Okay, so anything else going on? Any other kind of fun
Huh.
stuff?
Fun stuff, no. Adulting stuff. Something interesting happened today.
Yeah, you did, didn't it?
Yeah, I got my very first speeding ticket.
Ba-dum-dum. Yeah, well.
I mean, I
Hey,
mean, literally, I've been pulled over a bunch of times back in Georgia, but I was
nice.
never actually he given a ticket. I was always given a warning,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But here, a state trooper got me off the
Yep. Sorry,
and
Chase.
he gave me a ticket. He cited me, and I've got a court date in two
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah, but I think if you pay your, like you said, I would call the number on the ticket. But I think if you pay your fine and go to that class, then you don't have to go to court. I don't think you. I think you only have to go to
Okay,
court. I think you only have to go to court if you're planning on contesting the ticket. Um,
okay,
Double check. Call that number though, because it's a different state than what we're used to. Georgia versus. So I
yeah.
don't know what their rules, their laws may be a bit different. So
Yeah,
double check on that.
and I do need to get on the process of updating my license and tags to an Ohio license
Yep,
and
you
tag.
do. That's probably another reason why he gave you a citation, because those things should have been done by now. You've been living there over a year. Yep.
I know, I'm constantly getting distracted, and I never knew how to do it in the first place.
Call the make an appointment with the DMV.
Okay.
I
And
mean, it's
yes, Legion. I know. Good job of me. I got out
hey,
early
I'm not
today, and I just wanted to get home.
I'm
Okay.
I'm not I'm not going to say anything, because at 25, let's just say that I had more than one ticket by age 25. So I can't
I
say anything.
mean,
I can't
I
say
mean, I was
anything, and
only
I'm not
going
going to.
10 miles above the speed limit anyway.
Well, that's good. If you'd gone 15 over, they could have hit you with reckless driving. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, wait.
if it's 15
Was it 15?
if it's 15 over the
There's
speed
different.
limit or greater, they can hit you with a reckless driving, not
Okay.
just speeding.
It's just on a stretch of highway. It changes between 65 and 70 so many times.
Mm-hmm.
It's sometimes hard to pinpoint exactly
Yeah.
when the where that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And that this guy Legion, he's actually the guy I told you about that got in that bad accident.
Yeah. I hope you're okay, man. I hope it wasn't. I mean, I know this.
He's
I heard from Connor the accident was pretty serious, but I also heard that I think that you guys were okay, and nobody was
oh
seriously
yeah.
hurt.
That
So I was so
nope.
glad to hear that.
Car. Oh yeah. I believe the car was totaled, but the injuries were somewhat minor. Or bruises. I think Riley had a messed up rib, I think.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm nothing super duper serious.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Which is good because I believe his second job is a demo driver.
Right. So yeah, there you go.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good. going back to work next week.
Did I?
Nice.
Well, the timer's close enough. I don't think I formally
No, you
reset
never
it.
reset it,
I always
Dad. You never
because I'm
reset it.
hashtag ADHD. I keep forgetting to, but it's
Dirt racing, that's what it is. He's a dirt racer.
okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's I can see how that would be easy to flip with
Yeah.
if you're racing on dirt. Anyway, so but when I turned the screens over, it was pretty close to the beginning, so it's not too far off. So whatever, we're just gonna let it go because
No,
we always
reset it. Let's give ourselves an extra 20 minutes of talk time. Come
no.
on.
Anyway, so no, we're gonna let that go because
Fine.
we never pay attention to it anyway. We hit the alarm and keep talking anyway, so it doesn't really
That's
matter.
true. That's true. We usually go on for at least 10 minutes over the timer.
Yeah. So anyway, so I kind of
What about you, Dad?
I nothing interesting or fun. I mean the best thing was that Luke flew back this week. It took him 6 months.
How is he, by the way?
Fine, thin but fine. He lost a lot of weight. He lost a lot of his upper body strength. His thighs and his quads are still like tree trunks. I mean, he's still got the strong legs, but he lost his upper body. So he's just got to start working out again.
He's kind of like a pear. He's
No.
skinny up top, chunkier in down
He's
below.
not chunkier. It's just his legs stayed strong because he was hiking. He hiked for 2,200 miles.
Yeah, that's true.
And not just walking 2,200 miles. He was hiking over mountains and stuff for 2,200 miles. So, I mean, it was hard work.
I could never do something like that.
but yeah,
I don't have the fortitude for it.
6
But
months.
Luke, I could see him doing it all the time.
Yeah, 6 months and 4 days it took him. Because he started on March 14th and he finished on September 19th. And then 2 days later, he was home. He flew home on the
That's
airplane.
pretty cool.
So, yeah. So he's taking like a recoup week to just kind of chill and do nothing, and then
A
I think,
week? He's like a month or something.
No,
just to
no,
fully-
he's got life he's got to jump into. He's got Air Force and all those kind of things those plans that need to get jumped on.
I know.
So anyway, so that's what's been going on here. I got to go back to work this week after the whole 2 weeks of quarantine with the whole COVID thing. Still got a
Yeah.
nasty kind of chest. Sometimes I can feel it, and it feels like kind of weird breathing, but I'm fine. It's just kind of lingering.
I'm gonna
stuff.
try and get vaccinated this weekend.
Good. You need to.
Nikki got vaccinated a couple days ago, and she said that the pain in her arm is unbearable.
Yeah, I mean, for some people, the pain wasn't too bad for me. I didn't react very much to the vaccinations at all. Mom had a pretty good reaction to the. I mean, she had COVID last fall, and then she started getting the vaccination this year and got the first shot, and her reaction to the first shot was worse than when she had COVID. So
Dang.
then she started doing research and found out that they are finding out.
How's that a good reaction then?
It just means that her immune system
had a good reaction.
It means her immune system is very strong and it was fighting really hard. That's what it means.
So it's good if you feel like crap.
Well, it's a sign that your immune system is really fighting hard.
Okay.
So anyway, which is a strong immune system. So anyway,
I've always had a strong immune system.
so other than that, I got to go back to work this week. Hey, Tony.
What's
Thanks.
that?
It's Tony P. Henderson, man. So Tony's a regular at Dragon Con. He's a regular in the digital media track. So
What's up, Tony?
Anyway,
I don't know you, but thanks for hopping in.
hey, you know what? It's okay. Tony and I have funny little stories about seeing each other and him going, "Hey, oh yeah, I think I know you. Yeah, no, I forgot that I know you. No, I do know you." So he and I have a little thing. So I think we've kind of figured it out. So other than that, I got to go back to work this week. Fun stuff. Destiny 2 I'm still doing. I'm still diving into the season. Probably going to do some more of that tonight. But
Have you pre-ordered Tiny Tina's Wonderland yet?
No, I have not. I'm going to do some more research on it. I mean, I'll get it because, what I found out about the new Tiny Tina thing is that for the first time, we actually have character creation. You actually it's not just like regular classes like in all the Borderlands movies. You actually get to create a character, create a class or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's going to be fun because, we love the Tiny Tina humor. and we
Oh
love
yeah,
D and
it's a
D.
world created by Tiny Tina.
Yeah, so if we can
Dragon's
play,
Keep was one of the best DLCs I've ever played.
if we can play Tiny Tina D&D, I'm all for that. I'm all
Oh
about
yeah,
that. So
yeah.
yeah, but I'm no.
After this month's bills, I'm still gonna pre-order it.
So I'm probably not going to pre-order it. I'll wait and see. But next month or November, I think. Skyrim Special Edition comes out again.
Another special edition?
Well, it's basically all updated for the PS5 and the Series X. Updated graphics, and they're doing it where they took a lot of the content creation stuff and they're including it all. So it's going to have everything. And if you already have the special edition from the Xbox One, then the upgrade is supposed to be free, I think. Okay. So, of course, I'll play it again because that's just what I do. Every time there's a new version of Skyrim, I play it. And I'll play it all the way through. Are you
gonna play another Khajiit vampire? Her with the fork and knife, actually eating everybody.
I never finished that playthrough, and I wish I had. I need to get back to it. And I may redo that character because hopefully the with everything looking nicer and everything, I won't have to have so many mods, which would cause it to crash a lot. But playing a vampire Khajiit that only uses a knife and a fork and a spoon for a weapon. Yeah, I'll do that. And until I can find the fort that you can actually use as a weapon in Skyrim, and it takes a while to get to it, then I'll just be punchy and
Raven Rock.
I'll just be punchy and punch everything dead.
Raven Rock. It's in Raven Rock.
I'm sure it's a Raven Rock, but you have to anyway. So I'm sure everybody doesn't care about all of my recurring life in Skyrim, which is like where I live secondarily, in video game life.
How many playthroughs and how many characters have you made in Skyrim ever since it first came out?
Okay, it's not that
when it first came out.
It's not that I've played that many different characters. It's that I just play them forever. That I'll play through the main storyline, all the DLC storylines, all the side quests. I'll play through the whole thing, and then I'll just start making up my own quests. Like in Morrowind. If you remember in Morrowind.
I never played Morrowind.
Okay, in Morrowind there was Vivec, which had the cantons, which are almost like these little pyramid-type buildings that the whole city was built based on these different big buildings called cantons.
Did you have flying pants in Morrowind?
I did. I'm going to talk about that too. This is a good chicken. So, you had the different guilds in Morrowind. You had the fighters.
It's the one chicken you can't kill, or else all the town guards are going to sick you.
No, you had the fighter guild, which was the veterans. And you had the thief guild and the magic user guild, or the wizard guild or whatever. And I was trying to rank up in both the thief and the fighter one. And part of the fighter one was I had to kill somebody via a duel to kind of continue ranking up in that system.
Yeah.
In the Thieves Guild, I had to steal from that guy or just get something from him, and if I had to kill him, I had to kill him. So I'd already killed the guy for the Thieves Guild, but then because I didn't kill him via a duel, it was glitched, and I never got to rank up and become the leader of House Redoran because of that. It glitched out, and it wouldn't let me do it.
Oh, dude.
So I got mad. So I proceeded to, because in Vivec, each clan, each guild had its own canton. There was like a 5-story building, pyramid kind of thing that was where they all lived. So I proceeded to hunt down every member of House Redoran in Morrowind at the home where it was started, and in Vivec, and killed them all. So
why?
Because I was mad because they wouldn't let me rank up and become the leader of House Redoran. So I became the leader of House Redoran because I became House Redoran because I was the only one left. Because I killed them all. And then the canton, the pyramid in Vivec that was House Redoran became my house. And that's where my Aladdin pants, my flying pants came in. Because in Morrowind, you could enchant anything. So in Morrowind, I had a pair of pants, and I enchanted them with levitate. So I could literally put on those pants and walk up in the air and walk through the air. They became and I called them my Aladdin pantaloons or whatever. And I would literally just walk through the air, and
Los Aladdin pantalones.
So And then I also would steal every lantern and lamp and candle and everything I could find. I would steal them all. And I would get up on top of that big pyramid in Vivek, and I put them every candle and lantern I could find in Morrowind on top of that building. It became my runway. You could see it. Before you could see the building, you could see the lights. Walking in the air. And so I would literally, it was literally like I logged my flight plan and walked through the air back home every day. That's what I did in Morrowind. Cool. So it's not that I played a bunch of different characters. I would just bleed the game dry. Now with Skyrim, because it's come out so many different times, Xbox 360, Xbox One, the special edition, all that stuff, I've played a new character pretty much every time. But that's about it. But yeah, I generally I'll play it like, you'll play like 5 or 6 different characters. You play it, run through, play it again, make another character, start it again. I'll make one.
Because I like experimenting with different play and combat styles.
Right, but I like to.
I've got a thief character that's all light armor, daggers, bows and arrows, and everything.
Yeah.
I've got a pure magic character. I've got a mace and shield user. I've got a battle axe user. I've got a dual sword user.
Well,
I've got every basic play style.
It turns out that the favorite one I ever did was, I started this Khajiit vampire one that I was going to do.
Pussyfoot?
Well, that's what I call that one. But before that one, I had made one that was a Khajiit character, and it was completely unarmed combat. And so, of course, I enchanted. I guess it was Punchy Pussyfoot. Anyway, so because I
remember this one time you made a clip of a giant smacking you out of existence.
I believe I can fly. Yes,
exactly. You were flying.
I've still got it somewhere.
You flew from that point all the way into Whiterun. I watched it to the end, and you flew actually into Whiterun.
Yeah. So I made that build. It was a completely unarmed build, and I enchanted all of my armor and my rings and stuff to increase that stuff. And I could punch out dragons. So I never used a weapon in that playthrough. I only used my fist.
Novice.
No, I never play on novice. I never play on novice. Now I'll play.
That's the only way you can beat a dragon, by punching.
Not if you watch the recipes and everything to enchant your stuff in the right way and build the right kind of skills. I was literally, and I had the mod.
So you glitched it.
No, I didn't glitch it. I played. No, it's just how you, what kind of armor you use, what kind of rings you use, and what kind of enchantments you put on them. It would rank that stuff up.
You then also use mod to put a ring on each one of your fingers, didn't you?
No, one on each hand.
Oh, really?
Just one on each hand. No, I didn't put one on each.
Oh, okay.
So, but then I also put the mod on there that gave you like wrestling moves.
Oh yeah.
So then I'd kill him. I'd do like back suplexes and power slams. Yeah, that was pretty funny. So that's probably my favorite one, where I'm literally punching dragons to death with like 1 or 2 punches. And Did
you ever power slam or do anything like that to a dragon?
No, it wouldn't let you. It wouldn't animate the dragon that way. Because it's too big. That would have been pretty cool. So, so yeah, I'm sure I'll probably play Skyrim again when it comes out. Right now, it's pretty much Destiny. I don't have a lot of time to do a bunch of other stuff. So when I play, it's pretty much Friday nights, and I'm just grinding my Destiny stuff.
I've been getting back into Borderlands 3 lately. Yeah, because they've recently released a whole bunch of bug fixes.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of updates, and there's a special key out there you can get with the shift code. It's a diamond key. Other golden keys just open up that one chest. A diamond key can literally open up an entire vault of stuff.
Cool.
Of do you remember her the pirate DLC in Borderlands 2?
Yeah.
When you get to the end and it's just all these chests in a room.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what the type of room the diamond key unlocks.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I love Borderlands as much as you do, but Borderlands 3. Well, that's maybe
you don't.
There was
You
something
don't love
about
it.
Borderlands 3 that just rubbed me wrong. It was something about the graphic style that they used. It was much more cartoony than Borderlands 2. They still tried to go with that cel shaded look, but the characters, the animations, everything was just like really. Enough of that stuff. Do we have a geek question?
I liked it. I
Yeah.
liked it honestly.
Do we have a geek question to
Anyway,
talk about?
yes, we do.
We do? All right, cool.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want them answered immediately.
For those who are watching us for the first time, Connor has to repeat Arnie until he gets it right. So,
Because I will one day perfect my Schwarzenegger impression and make you all weep.
So you're not hearing an echo. You're hearing Connor's obsession with having to repeat it. So anyway, all right. So
because I need to get it right.
So what's the question this week?
All right. Our geek question is, in your opinion, what are the pros and what are the cons of being a non-powered superhero?
So you mean like Batman,
Batman, Iron Man, Green Arrow, people who don't have powers but are considered a superhero, you know?
Okay. All right. So where do we want to start? How do we want to start this?
Well, let's see. I think we should first choose on a side, pro or con, and then alternate points we feel are valid, and then a debate on them. You know.
So what do you want to go? What do you want to go with first?
I always like I've always done positive first, but honestly, I want to go negative this time.
Go.
You know. Oh, let's talk about the cons.
Okay, go.
Let's see. Con.
I'm sorry, people.
Many of these non-powered superheroes rely on gadgets and a very human physical limitations.
Right.
And easily gadgets can malfunction and your frail human body can crap out at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
sure.
I mean, it's just that's a fact.
Right.
Okay, your turn. What's a con?
Okay. So that's what we're doing. I didn't know if we were going con, pro, pro. Okay. So another con of non-superpower. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think they're much more vulnerable. You know, because if they don't have some kind of bulletproof armor, and I don't mean bulletproof skin, but bulletproof armor, then stuff like that, then yeah, they're much more vulnerable. I mean, you look at say Iron Man, he can get beat up by somebody that happens to have a stronger machine than him, whether it be Ultron or or Hulk or whatever. He can get beat up and trashed.
We saw it with Whiplash in Iron Man 2.
Right. So they're just much more vulnerable, and same thing with Batman. Of course, we've seen Arrow through the series. We've seen him get beat up tons of times by people, right? Yeah. And by other non-superpowered people, just people that were good at fighting and good with their bow.
Yeah.
So I mean, just really the biggest con I can think of non-powered superheroes is just their vulnerability. They're not invincible, and of course, none of them are invincible. Every one of them has a storyline.
Some are pretty dang close.
Close, true. But yeah, they're more apt to injury. I'm not really worried about their stuff might malfunction kind of stuff. I'm not really worried about that. I'm really just more worried about the fact that they can get hurt much easier because they're much more vulnerable. Also, since they don't have some kind of superpower, then dude, human frailty in terms of being fatigued and tired and all of those kind of things can come into play. Yeah. Right? They don't have boundless sources of energy. They're not Superman. So they don't have that kind of stuff, right?
And not even Superman has that.
Well, true. So,
let's see. Another con I believe is upkeep. Keep having to constantly he, to take care of all your gear, all your equipment, and to constantly training, and having all your actual free time spent just just trying to make sure you and your superhero alter ego are in the best possible shape to go up against any adversary. I mean, look at look at Bruce Wayne. Almost all of his free time is spent planning, experimenting, building,
Right.
training, just making sure he's ready.
Yeah.
Even same thing with Tony Stark. He is constantly working on new suits and upgrades.
Yeah.
Constantly.
But even powered superheroes have to train. I mean, look
How
what,
does Superman train
Hey.
when from a baby he could literally lift a silo?
I'm gonna give you two words. You ready?
What?
Fat Thor. Dude needed to work
That's-
out. He had a little bit too much pizza and beer, too much PlayStation, and not enough working out. So he turned into the Big Lebowski, Fat
that
Thor.
was also depression though. That was also a depression.
Okay, so even the powered superheroes have emotional and mental health issues. They should have come to my panel the other day at DragonCon. So,
Not as much upkeep though, Well, not as much upkeep as compared to the Batmans and the Tony Starks and the Oliver Queens of the comic book and superhero world.
well, I mean, you do have to look at that scene with Thor and Doctor Strange, right? You remember that scene with Thor and Doctor
Yeah.
Strange with the beer, and it's like
yeah.
this big. He's gone. He gets another one, and it just fills up automatically. Yeah. So yeah, he could drink, but he must have drank a whole lot and eat a whole lot of pizza for him to turn into Fat Thor like he did.
He must have literally been drinking full on kegs every day. He just like peeled off the top and drank it like a tall boy.
Okay, so what are some other cons of being a non-powered superhero?
Let's see. Vulnerability. Upkeep. Let's see. Zero personal life because because of the constant upkeep and such, that takes up all of their time just to make sure they are ready.
Well, I'll kind of challenge you on.
Name the last time Bruce Wayne actually went out seriously. That wasn't part of some kind of mission or assignment.
But listen, I'll challenge you on that because that's true of all superheroes. I mean, there was one of the Spider-Man movies where that was almost the whole plot of the movie was him struggling with having no life because of his superhero status and having to constantly save people and
Which
do things.
movie?
I think it was the Spider-Man 2. I think it was
which Spider-Man?
I think it was the first one. I think it was Tobey Maguire. I think it was Spider-Man
okay,
2. I think it was Spider-Man 2. Yeah,
I
think
am
it was
so
that
excited
one.
for No Way Home. I am so excited for that movie.
So anyway, I mean that's true of all superheroes, that have a desire to save people. They have no life because they're constantly saving people. With the exception of
Tony Stark.
No. Well, that's just Tony. No, that movie with I'm drawing a blank on his name. I know the name of the movie. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
What's the name of the movie?
Hancock.
Hancock. Are you talking about
Will Smith? Yeah, that movie. Will Smith.
How do you blank on Will Smith? He's basically like
hashtag old, hashtag ADHD. Sorry.
But he's basically this current generation's Morgan Freeman at this point.
No, there is no generation's version of Morgan Freeman except Morgan Freeman.
I don't know.
Morgan Freeman is
he's got that good narration voice.
Morgan Freeman is his generation's Morgan Freeman, and Morgan Freeman is every other generation's Morgan Freeman. Sorry. Will Smith doesn't hold a candle. No, not gonna happen. So I like Will Smith. He's not Morgan Freeman. Sorry. So, okay. So I would challenge you on that one as far as a con, because that's a con of all superheroes, not just powered ones, not just non-powered ones, right?
Well,
Trying to think of any. Bless you. Trying to think of any other cons. I can think of some pros
well,
though.
I mean, I mean, as you just said, it's a con for all superheroes, so it's still valid as a con. It just can also be applied to both sides.
but it's not a con of non-powered superheroes
it,
specifically,
it
because
can
that's
be
what we're talking
applied
about.
to them.
That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the cons of being a non-powered superhero. So it doesn't apply because it's a broad stroke, hits all sides.
Okay.
Can you think of any other ones?
Let's switch it up and talk about pros.
Okay,
then.
so for me, a pro of being a non-powered superhero is, think about most powered superhero. Well, I don't want to say most, because I'm not as deep in the superhero mythology as some people are. You know, Mitch. you know, so but you know, so many powered superheroes have some kind of weakness.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be
Martian
you know,
Manhunter, it's fire.
kryptonite for Superman, you know, or you know, there's different ones that there's something specific that is a specific weakness for them, right? And all the bad guy has to do is find out what that weakness is, and bam, use it, and that's it. They don't have, you know, and then it doesn't matter what kind of power they have. It doesn't matter Superman's strength and ability to fly and bulletproof nature, because he becomes so weak he can't do anything. Yeah. So it immediately negates all the powers of the superhero. Whereas with a non-powered superhero, they don't have those kind of weaknesses, right? They just have to kind of get beat down and literally get beat at what they're doing. The guy somebody don't have to just show up with a hunk of a rock and make them collapse on the ground.
Yeah, I get that.
So I would say that. So to me, that's a pro of a non-powered superhero. They don't have that specific weakness that they can be attacked with.
Let's see. Another pro I can think of is versatility. A lot of powered superheroes are only with a few exceptions are only really useful in that one field. So Aquaman can only really be useful if he's by a body of water, right?
Yeah, really, kind of. Yeah.
John Constantine can only really be useful if he's going up against earthly, supernatural, and demonic forces.
Right.
And then put him up against a scientific alien thing, and he's practically useless.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
but then if you look at people like Batman and Tony Stark, those are the only ones that I can think of.
Right.
We saw in Iron Man 3 how many suits he created with all these different applications and uses and scenarios in mind, you know.
Right.
And so he was basically building for every kind of contingency. Bomb disposal, aquatic, deep space, hand-to-hand combat, had prehensile combat, all this stuff. He planned for all those. And same thing for Batman. It's canon that Batman has an actual database of files filled with plans, schematics, and details on how to combat different powered people if they were to turn bad, you know.
Right.
So because they're unpowered, they need to be smarter and need to plan farther ahead and figure out what to do if something like this happens. So I hold they're much more versatile in a more broad band of situations, you know.
Right. No, I mean, I get it. And I would agree with you on that, you know. So okay. I'm trying to think of any other pros. I'm kind of drawing a blank on any other pros. I just like the fact that they don't have that weakness, but I can't think of. Look, one pro is well, no, that's not true either. I was going to say I tend to like non-powered superheroes better than powered superheroes, but X-Men are my favorite. So they're like the definition of powered superheroes, right? So
I've got a pro.
okay, go.
To me, a pro for them is they're much more relatable. When
Yeah.
they worked for their standing. When they put in
Mhm.
the time, they put in the effort to actually be recognized and respected as a quote unquote superhero, even though they don't have powers. So in a way, it makes them much more inspirational to the common man, rather than basically an alien that crash landed and gets roided up from our yellow sun.
So people,
Because
so people can identify with them more and kind of say, hey, that's maybe something that I could aspire
here
to
to help
be.
out.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
It's kind of like thinking, this guy is saving the world all the time, even though he doesn't have powers. Now,
Mhm.
granted, I can't do something that big, but maybe I can do something to help out as well.
Yeah, yeah,
And I mean,
yeah.
and in that line of thought, just grows and evolves, and then you just have a bunch of people helping their community.
Right. Right. And,
You know?
and you know what? And that is actually something that kind of happened. And I think maybe somebody in the chat can kind of correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm probably wrong because of my memory. But I think in Spider-Man 2, when he was struggling with his identity and struggling with having no life and that whole crisis of who he was kind of stuff, that people
saved
started
the
helping
train.
when he saved the train, and I think people kind of were able to identify and help, because
Yeah.
they saw some vulnerability in him, and I think it's much easier to see vulnerability in a non-powered superhero. And that's
There's also a scene similar to that in the first Andrew Garfield movie. He remember or when all those construction cranes
Oh, yeah,
moved
that's right.
over the
Yeah.
landscape, and it kind of gave him a path towards
Yes.
the tower.
Yep. I remember that absolutely. So
Which is funny. Each iteration of Spider-Man in these movies have had some kind of community helping Spider-Man moment,
Yeah.
except Tom Holland. He hasn't had one yet.
Yeah.
And this movie is the perfect setup for it.
Yeah,
Think
well,
about it.
We'll say so. That's right. So, and it kind of plays into probably why I like X-Men more than other superheroes, even though I know that they haven't had really good movies lately. But the idea of somehow
Lately,
yeah,
they
to
never
me,
had good movies. in my
although
opinion.
the James McAvoy ones are my favorite because I love James McAvoy and I love the younger spin on the movies. I know the last one wasn't very good, but
First Class is the only exception.
First Class was
I like First
fantastic.
Class.
I think they've done 3, and I think the first 2 I liked. I think it was the third one that wasn't that great. But anyway, the idea that somehow we can have mutations that allow us to do certain supernatural or superhero kind of things, to me, is much more believable than some dude coming from another planet and being superpowered because of my son, or a Norse god coming to Earth, or being bit by a radioactive spider. So to me, it's much more believable and identifiable to be an X-Man than
That
something
does
else.
make sense.
Yeah,
Now, granted, those mutations are wildly in the extreme. You know.
Sure. Right. So anyway, okay. Have we kind of bled that dry? I think we've kind of bled that. I don't have any other stuff. Do you have any parting shots on the geek question?
Huh.
Because I don't. This silence is great for the audio podcast. I should dub.
It builds suspense.
I need to dub in our elevator music or something.
It builds in the suspense of my knowledge coming in, because it'll be a banger. Nope, I honestly can't think of anything more.
I didn't think so. At least we filled the silence with elevator
Yeah.
music. Okay, cool. So then, it's time.
We talk about our movie.
It's time for.
Roll for credits.
There you go. Woo! So, this week, we're talking about, and again, I tell people all the time, we don't say what we do as reviews. We just talk about them. So, what's up, Kurt? So this
that?
week, a buddy of ours from the podcast circles.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Hey, Kurt.
So
Nice to meet you.
this week we're talking about the
Join Team
1984
Connor.
classic musical breakdance comedy inspirational.
I wouldn't even say it's a comedy.
Very
because
bad
because there's
movie.
barely any dialogue in it.
Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo. Now, not only that's true.
Hot.
That is true.
Hot.
Absolutely
gravy.
true, Tony.
I bet my voice is just as smooth as his. Oh yeah.
No, it's not. Trust me. He reads bedtime stories for his podcast and for his stream. So no, you're not even close. So, we're doing Breaking 2,
I
Electric
bet I can get
Boogaloo.
real
Not
close.
even the original Breaking, but the sequel, Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo.
Did you know, as I was reading up some details?
We are gonna go on down Electric Boogaloo, and we can take it
Interesting.
higher.
Interesting mashup there, dude. But so
It's a good song.
I found out as I'm reading up on
It's the
some
Morgan
trivia.
Freeman of this generation.
some trivia about this movie, that Electric Boogaloo, the term Electric Boogaloo, has become like unofficial.
Dad, people are still waiting for our TikToks we talked
I
about.
bet
last.
you are. I bet you are, and you're gonna keep waiting on me to break dance. That's for dang sure.
Oh,
Connor
come
will do it
on,
in a
Dad.
heartbeat. Connor will do it in a heartbeat.
I will.
No, the
I
most.
will go full
no.
on
I'll-
spinning on the carpet, spitting rhymes.
I'll do. You know, Caddyshack, Groundhog Dance. I'll do
No.
the White Man
You.
Snap Dance. That's about all I can do. So you're not getting much else out of me. But
you are gonna go full on disco dance, disco queen.
do some popping and locking. But
You can't pop and lock. You
they use the
you
term.
don't have the funk for it.
People use the term Electric Boogaloo as the unofficial secondary title of what was the term they used? Unnecessary movie sequels. So movies that had a completely unnecessary sequel, people just throw Electric Boogaloo in the end because this was a completely unnecessary sequel to the first movie.
Shrek 2, Electric Boogaloo.
So there you go. So this movie, do you want to talk about the plot? I mean,
I can agree.
if
with
you can
that.
talk about the plot. So, all right.
Okay. No, I'll talk about the plot.
Well, let me give a little bit of background first. Okay, let me give a little background first. So this movie came out in December of 1984, and it stars December of 1984, and it stars. Hold on, let me pull them up here. Oh, where are they? It stars Lucinda Dickey as Kelly, Adolfo Quinones as Shabba, as Ozone, that's Shabadoo,
Yeah.
and then Michael Chambers who plays Turbo.
Okay. But first off, I saw some of these names in the beginning of the movie, and I'm like, Shabadoo, Sugarfoot, Shrimp Boogaloo.
Yeah.
What the heck are these names?
This is the 80s, and it was kind of in the heyday of breakdancing, of like the classic breakdancing stuff that happened.
Still.
Not the stuff that's going on today, which is fantastic dancing, but it was just like your classic dancing on the, spinning on the mat kind of stuff, popping and locking and everything. So the original movie, this movie came out in December of 1984. The original came out in May of 1984. So the original came out in May, and 7 months later, they released the sequel.
That's the fastest sequel I've ever seen.
They spun that sucker out fast.
I mean, when you think about it, it wasn't that expensive of a movie.
Well, and it also explains why there was virtually no movie to this movie. Right?
That is true. It's basically one giant, long, weird music video.
So the premise of this movie is there's these dancers, and there's these guys, street dancers, and then there's Kelly, who is like some rich Broadway dancer, comes from a rich family. They don't like her hanging out with them and this kind of stuff, but she fell in love with this
He
kind of
wants
dancing in
to
this
go to
group in the original
Princeton.
in the original movie. And in this movie, they're back together, and Turbo and Ozone are part of some community center called Miracles in their town for all the youth. And of course, the storyline, because the movie came out so fast after the first one, they literally probably went to www.ineedamoviescript.com and grabbed one, paid $9.99 for it, and there's your movie. Because it's the bad, evil, rich developer wants to tear down.
A $9.99 script would have had at least an hour of dialogue.
Well, maybe.
This must have been some sort of free sample script they got.
Free 99. How about that? Free 99. So
free 99.
Yeah, there you go. Free 99. So then there's the rich.
So they got it for free.
The rich developer that wants to tear down Miracles and build a shopping center. And then the kids are fighting City Hall, and we're going to put on a show to raise
Super Hall.
Yeah, no. Sorry. To raise $200,000 and all this kind of stuff.
So we're going to City Hall for superheroes.
And the mom and dad of Kelly. I'm completely
Is that where
ignoring.
Batman got his zoning license for the Batcave?
You do realize
at Super Hall.
Completely ignoring you right now, right? So I'm moving on.
Because I'm making the joke.
So mom and dad, are all against it, and they try to force her to go to college and all this kind of stuff and bribe her. And then they see her dancing, and they have a change of heart, and they go down there to the party. They just happen to have enough time to see them on TV, get in their car in L.A., and make it to the party in a timely fashion while the dance show is still going on, and give a check to raise the rest of the money to save the place.
Yeah,
it was the most predictable, boring storyline. It's like they took every 80s after-school special or Lifetime movie and took the main plot points of all of them and just threw them into a basket and pulled out a few pieces of paper and said, "There's your movie script."
I was playing Pokemon while watching this movie, and I still fully understood the entire plot. I was barely paying attention half the time, and I still understood the entire plot.
As opposed to Avane Srimanarayana last week, three hour Bollywood movie that I had to watch it twice.
Watch full on you. You had to watch it full on, eyes glued to the TV. To one, read the subtitles.
Oh,
B,
you get stuck.
You follow the actors.
Yeah.
And C, just understand each little plot line.
And
there were like 3 or 4 going on all at once.
See, that's what people miss by not coming and listening to us or watching us, is that we go from a 3-hour Bollywood action western heist rom-com movie to the 1984 rap breakdance classic sequel, Breaking
Featuring
2.
Ice-T.
Featuring early career Ice-T. He looked like a 98.
He still had hair.
He looked like a 98-pound weakling. It took me a while to figure, and it was before, I think, and maybe folks in the chat can remind me when the kind of the NWA and the kind of the gangster rap thing got big. It seemed like it was like late 80s, early 90s or something like that. I can't remember what the time frame was because I wasn't really a big rap listener back then. But this was clearly before that. This was almost like Sugar Hill Gang type rap.
Oh yeah, I love Sugar Hill Gang.
So it was just funny.
Hop, a hippie to the hip hip hop, you don't stop from rhythm to the bang bang.
I raised
rhythm to the boogie.
I raised my son right that he knows Rapper's Delight from Sugar Hill Gang at 25 years old. Okay, the song was out 20 years before the kid was alive, and he knows it. So I've raised my child right. Just want people to know. So anyway.
And now that song is stuck in my head.
I mean, just the image of seeing Ice-T wearing like the Michael Jackson studded 1980s clothing and stuff was just.
There was a kid dressed as Michael Jackson.
Well, that's one of the dance things.
That?
Yeah, so clearly that was after the Thriller video, obviously, right? I can't remember what year that came out. Maybe in 82, 83. Can't remember. But anyway, so.
Oh yeah.
So
Rapper's Delight on YouTube clocks in at over 14 minutes long.
I would not be surprised. Would not be surprised.
It's so that one and Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody are the two longest non-classical songs I know of.
Speaking of Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody.
Wait, what?
Speaking of Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, if
Tell
you
me
search, well, you should know because you were there. If you get on YouTube and search for Bohemian Rhapsody chin music, you'll find me and Connor and his 22-year-old brother when they were, 8 and 10, maybe, somewhere around in there? With chin faces. And we sang
back when they were popular.
And we sang Bohemian Rhapsody with chin faces, complete with like little mini guitars and drumsticks and stuff and wigs. You need to check it out. I mean, the camera shakes because my wife was laughing so hard when we were recording it. So
to this day, whenever I hear that song and that hard rock solo goes in there, I don't bob my head like this. I do it like this.
Right. Yeah, you gotta do it
this
like this.
Day, I still do that.
Because you gotta do head banging upside down because your head's upset. Yeah, right, exactly. And so
exactly.
Yeah. So at the time, what did I have? Let's see, because I had the hair and did I have this? Did I have all this at the time? I can't remember if I did or not.
Yes,
anyway,
you did.
So we had googly eyes. We had little googly eyes and everything. It's a classic. It was pretty good. You had an attitude.
I was doing a little tongue action.
You had a little bit of an attitude, so you were kind of not as into it as me and Luke were. But
I don't know why.
So,
I wish we could redo it. We should redo it when I visit for Christmas.
We could.
We should.
We could.
We should.
If Luke's here, Luke may be in Korea by then. Who knows? You know.
If Luke's not here, either Mitchell or Nikki can fill in.
By the way, we've already run out of time, so we're just going to keep going.
But who cares?
But and also I also wanted to play a clip from the movie so that people could kind of understand the deep Shakespearean level dialogue that this movie had.
The nearly Citizen Kane level intellect.
So you just talked right over it.
Oh, I did?
Yep.
Play it again.
Combat. Attention. You have just entered a battle zone.
No, I'm not going to. But it's stuff like jive turkey and
jive ad turkey.
No, they didn't even say that. They didn't even use any cuss words in this movie. They just said, "What do you want, you jive turkey? You're the loser." I mean, and that was the aggressive language in this movie. And I'm like, and then
I don't need your jab.
At one point, a little kid says, "Girls are whack, man," and an adult goes, "Whacked," and gets all offensive at the word "whacked." I'm like, that's like Disney Channel, Disney Junior cartoon language these days.
That's just true.
Oh, it was such a simpler time back then, people. As bad as this movie was, it was kind of nice having a movie where
it's wholesome. It's a wholesome movie.
Wholesome as a bad movie can get it. Yeah, there was. Yeah. I mean, even the bad guys had smiles on their faces, right? So
they were dance fighting, and not the cool dance fighting like Brazilian capoeira.
All right.
It was like cheesy fake karate while popping and locking dance fighting.
But if I remember right, and again, if you're going to rely on my memory, just good luck with that. But it seems like I remember that the break dancing and the dance competitions and those kind of things kind of came out of an effort to stop gang violence or kind of minimize it, that they would kind of have these dance-offs instead of shooting at each other or whatever, or fights like the old rumbles that gangs would have back in the day. Seems like I read something or saw. Did you get frozen or are you just...
I don't know. I didn't live in that era.
Oh, there you go. You were just frozen on the screen like this, just kind of sitting there like this, and like, did he just fall asleep or?
I think my internet connection was kind of unstable for a bit.
Yeah. So anyway,
Am I good now?
Yeah, it's fine. So it was nice to have a movie where we just kind of watched it and didn't have to worry about language, we didn't have to worry about violence. It was just a lot of dancing and really bad dialogue. what dialogue there was really bad.
Literally, guys, I swear this movie was basically he had 20% dialogue and story progression, and then 80% of dancing, singing, montage breaks, and just random unneeded positivity.
It was the 1980s breakdancing version of the Prince from Holy Grail. I just want to sing. I mean,
I just want
they
to
just
sing.
They just wanted to break out into.
Stop that. You know I'm not going to do anything like that while I'm here.
They just wanted to break out
Speaking
into
of which,
song
that's
and
going to be a
dance.
cosplay we're going to do eventually. That is.
Okay. Oh no, I'm not going to be the sickly Prince. Sorry.
Yes,
Nope.
you are.
Nope, not doing that.
Yes, you are.
No. So
I can already lift you up, Dad. It'll be
Okay.
perfect.
That's fine. I'm not going to jump out of a window either. But so as far as the movie goes, let's talk about it. I
no
mean, what do you
fun.
want? What do you want to talk about this movie? I mean, we just kind of rambled about how
We've already talked about it.
It was-
I mean, there's nothing else to really talk about. I mean, the dancing was cool. The music was kind of grating after the first 20 minutes.
How can you say there's
But
nothing,
otherwise,
How can you say there's nothing else to talk about the movie? We haven't even talked about the hospital dance scene yet.
okay, then you talk about the hospital dance scene. I don't have anything to really say about the movie except for I liked some of the dancing. I liked some of the scenes. Means you're most likely going to talk about the same scenes I'm going to talk about. So what's the point?
I laughed so hard. I mean, look, it's your typical musical, hey, we're going to break out into dance and song no matter where we're at, no matter what the situation
Literally
is.
5 minutes in the movie, they did that dancing and singing down Main Street.
Right. I
5
know.
minutes in the movie.
So, but they break out into song and dance in the hospital after Ozone falls down some stairs and supposedly breaks his arm and leg, although literally the next day or later that day, he's in the dance show and cut his casts off and was dancing just fine. But in the hospital, they're dancing and all the friends are there dancing and they're dancing in the halls and everyone's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And then all of a sudden, the big double doors in the hospital hallway bust open and 4 nurses in huge 80s permed hair and traditional short nurse dresses with a nurse hat and high heels start like a chorus line dance stuff.
Okay, that was funny.
Because, in the 80s, all nurses dressed in short, skimpy skirts with high heels and big perms and would break out into choreographed dancing at any
They
time.
did?
I mean, the 80s were known for
Fire up the DeLorean. I'm going to the 80s.
the 80s were known for nurse dance gangs.
Oh yeah.
This is
Did
called sarcasm, my son. This is called sarcasm, my son.
I know it
Okay.
is. Did you ever notice the pregnant women doing the splits?
No, I didn't notice that, but I did notice that one of the nurses, or one of the, not one of the little dancing troop nurses, but one of the other nurses was just dancing in the background, was also one of the dancers when they were doing the street dancing at the beginning of the movie, and they had a bunch of old women on
Really?
the side of the street dancing and kicking their legs way up in the air. She was one of them because she was dressed as an old lady. It's clearly like a young lady dressed as an old woman. It's kind of funny. So I don't remember if I saw this movie. I saw the first one. I know I saw the first one. I remember seeing the first one.
You willingly watched it?
Yeah. I don't remember because that was in the mid 80s, 84 or so. I mean, we had, the Blockbuster videos and stuff, and we would frequently rent movies as a bunch of high school folks, and we'd hang out on the weekends and watch bad movies. It may have been one of those that we rented. I may have seen it in the theater. I may have actually seen Breaking in the theater. This one I don't really remember seeing, but yeah. So, I had forgotten just how cheesy 80s music video movies were. Connor's right. It was about 20% dialogue and 80% dance and funny expressions and montages of stuff. Yeah. I mean, the 80s were known for their montages, man. Training montage, workout montage.
Montage man. Bup, bup.
I don't even know what that is. I'm old. What is that?
Montage Man.
What is
Man,
Montage?
he's from the 80s. Look
Okay.
him up.
I'm sure, man. I don't remember Montage Man. Anyway, so yeah, it was basically
I believe he was a Jamaican guy.
it was basically an opportunity for them to try to make more money. I mean, good grief, they released the movie 7 months after the first one.
I've never heard of a movie going off that fast.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
Not even in the crappy direct-to-video sequels of Aladdin.
I mean, that's well, yeah. I mean, but those were animated. It took them a while to draw those, right? So,
Not
and
based
to be
on-
honest
on
with you,
the level
I
they
don't.
did.
I don't know that I ever heard of these people ever again in anything else. Now I could be wrong.
That
I could
makes
go.
sense.
I could go check IMDb and see. But anyway, let's see if there's anything, any kind of interesting stuff like Yeah, so the sequel was greenlit and rushed into production less than a year after the original film. It wasn't
Yeah,
just
less than a year.
it wasn't just rushed into production. It was released less than a year. Because
That's
the
probably what
first
they
one was
meant
released
by
December of
rushed.
'84. The second was released May of '84. I mean, first one was May of '84. Second was December of '84.
I mean, like literally, it must have been like at least 2 months after, or no wait, no, not at least, at most 2 months after the first one was released. The director called up everyone and said, okay, we're doing another one. Come back at the set, and then they just did that, you know.
Yeah, it's just like they went for took a 2-week vacation and came back and filmed the other movie. You know.
Yeah.
So
It's not kind of what they did with Lord of the Rings. They just shot all movies all at once.
yeah, but they just filmed all 3 of them all at one time. They didn't take a break. They were together for 18 months. They lived in New Zealand together for 18 months and filmed all 3 movies back to back. Yep. And then they just released them one every other year or every year. So, you remember the young Hispanic girl that Ozone liked?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember her voice? She
Her
didn't talk
voice did
much.
sound kind of familiar.
She didn't talk much, but she did talk in the hospital. Do you remember what her voice sounded like?
What?
Well, I'm just asking if you remember, because
She did sound familiar.
the things that stuff I've read about this movie, she could speak English and Spanish, but they said her voice was so quiet, the microphones were not even picking up her voice, so they had to dub in somebody else speaking her lines over her in those scenes just so she could be heard. And whoever they got, it's like, okay, if you're going to film an anime movie, and you know what anime voices kind of sound like, right? If you're going to film an anime movie with a Spanish-speaking character, that's what her voice sounded like. It sounded like a little anime Spanish girl voice, and it didn't match the person at all. It was weird. Go back and watch that scene from the hospital when she's talking and look at it. It's just
To be
It's
honest,
biz-
I didn't really pay attention
it's
just because she
bizarre.
didn't really have much of
No.
an impact in the movie.
So, look, I'll put it to you this way. When Connor and I first started this podcast, instead of just doing roll for credits and rolling for movies at random, we were doing something called Best of the Worst on Netflix. And we were trying to find those movies that are so bad they're good. This almost makes that category.
Oh yeah.
Because as I was sitting there, and because I was running late this week and I ended up watching the second half of the movie this afternoon after I got home from work, and your mom sat down with me and she was watching the second half with me, and the look on her face the whole time I'm watching this movie, just dying laughing, was just this dumbfounded look, and I couldn't stop laughing at how bad it was. It was enjoyable because
Mickey
it
had
was
the
so bad.
exact same reaction.
It was crazy, right? So,
talking about the movie.
yeah.
Straight from her mouth. The movie was terrible. She says
Well, it was. It was not very good. That's true.
it was not very good.
Yeah. So, do you have anything else that you want to say about this movie? Because I don't have anything else I want to say about this movie.
I wish I had the body of Ozone.
Okay.
That's it. Last thing I'm gonna say. I want his body. He was fit. He was strong.
That's
he was
interesting.
lithe. What?
That you said I want his body. That could be taken in a lot.
Yes.
That could be taken in a lot of different ways.
That's why I first said that I want his body shape and his body fitness.
Okay. All right.
I said that
I get
first.
that. I get that.
So then that way when I said the other line for comedic value, it wouldn't get confused.
Okay. All right. So
See, I'm smart. I
look,
think ahead.
if you want to like nostalgia some of the older folks in the chat that are kind of my era, my age. You want to go back and
some
watch
of the older, they're all older, Dad.
Well, they're all older than you. Yeah, true.
Exactly. Except Legion, if he's still here.
Yeah. So if you wanted some nostalgia to go back and watch movies that we went and watched in the theater, or we went and rented at Blockbuster or Movie Gallery and watched with our friends on a Friday or Saturday night, go watch it.
Is Blockbuster still around?
No, there was one left in, I think, Alaska, and it finally closed. They actually did a documentary about it. There was one left. It's gone now. So if you want a nostalgia kind of vibe and go back and, first of all, see Ice-T, early career Ice-T, go for it. It was that was almost
style rapping.
That was almost the price of admission, was seeing that. It took me forever to go, it looks like Ice-T. It sounds like Ice-T, but surely that's not Ice-T. I asked her what
he literally introduced him as Ice-T. That
did.
should have been your first clue.
No, yeah, but when he first was on the screen, he wasn't introduced at all. He was just in the club. He was just playing in the club, and they introduced him at the show at the end, but they didn't introduce him in the club. He was just there singing. That's when I was wondering that, and I asked your mom at the end. I said, I wonder if to this day, if anybody ever goes up to Ice-T and go, "Hey, yo, dude, you remember when you were in that movie Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo?" And what he says, he's probably sitting there going, "Oh, man." He's probably super embarrassed that he had any part in that movie. But if you want to have a good laugh at old style breakdancing, and it's nothing like what it is today.
And weird doll fighting too.
And well, just cheesy dialogue and a simpler time where aggressive dialogue was nothing compared to what it is today.
Yeah,
it's fun. I'll never go watch it again. Unless we watch it 20 years from now because it happens again on the podcast. But not that I'm saying our podcast.
If you think we're
going
to be doing this again in 20 years, I don't know what to tell you.
No, I'll probably be dead in 20 years. I'll be 73 in 20 years. Please, come on. So. Let's
better be alive.
Let's roll for the next movie and get out of here, man. How about we do that?
I'm tired.
Okay, so for those that are kind of here for the first time, we literally rolled Dragon Dice to pick a movie at random.
Yep.
From week to week. So we'll roll a 20-sided die to kind of figure out what service we're going to use. Up to this point, it's either been Hulu or Amazon Prime or Netflix. We're going to add HBO Max, probably start next week. Yep. Then after that, we roll a 10-sided dice to pick a genre from that service. And then after that, I roll my nice 100-sided die that I got at Dragon Con.
Golf ball size.
No, that's bigger than a golf ball. That's bigger than a golf ball.
Wiffle ball?
And no, it's not that big. To pick out a movie from that list of that genre. Okay? So let's do that. And then that's how we end up with just these random movies that we're going to watch. So let me roll the dice and see what we get.
Cricket ball.
Cricket ball?
Yeah.
What's cricket ball? Okay, so I rolled an 11. So that would be Hulu. All right.
Hulu, okay.
And now I'm going to roll 10-sided dice. I got a 5. So that would be comedy.
Okay.
All right. Now, brace yourselves. I have to roll it inside a box because they'll just keep rolling. Okay.
How does that not dent the table through the box?
Because it's in my D&D box that's padded. See, my D&D box that I made that's all padded and everything. So now I got to roll it again because I spun it around.
You should get some more of those boxes and sell them on Etsy.
I've got some more. I just my laser etcher busted. I got to get a new one so I can start making my boxes.
Get back into that? Okay.
I rolled a 36. So
36.
now I'm going to go and find, because I always have them pulled up on my phone ahead of time so I can kind of just quickly go through the list. So I'm going to go find the 36th movie the 36th comedy movie the 36th movie in the comedy genre on Hulu, and that's what we're going to watch for next time. So y'all hang tight. So we're going to watch a movie.
What do we got?
We're going to watch a movie called The Alchemist Cookbook.
Okay.
Here's the tagline for it, or the quick little sentence. Suffering from delusions of fortune, a young hermit hides out in the forest hoping to crack an ancient mystery, but pays a price for his mania. Let me see if I can find some more about that.
Okay then.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find some more on that.
Disturbing.
Review. See if I can find synopsis of some kind. Plot summary. Nope, that's it. So some dude lives like a hermit in the woods and tries to get rich by cracking some kind of ancient mystery. And I'm assuming it has something to do with alchemy.
It's the most common alchemical myth of turning lead into gold.
But it's in the comedy category. I don't understand. This is I got no clue, people. I don't know.
Haunted House is in the comedy category. Scary Movies in the category is in the comedy category. But but there's still unsettling movies.
So we're gonna watch a comedy about a delusional guy living in the forest trying to get rich off of alchemy, I guess.
Which people used to actually believe that back in the day. They really did.
Okay, that's not what I'm focusing on. I get that there was that people really believe in alchemy. I'm focusing on the fact that we're watching a comedy about a delusional man living alone in the forest trying to get rich off of alchemy. I'm trying to figure out how that's a comedy. How are they going to make that comedy? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't know.
Because I don't get it. So, that's what we're going to do. Connor will have another geek question next week for us. We'll chase more chickens. We'll talk more nerdy stuff.
Dad.
Yes, what?
Should we talk about something special going on next week?
Next week, which is Friday, October 1st, we're going to have a guest.
Our very first guest.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But Dennis from Botched is going to be here with us. World's most okayest DM. He's had a
he's a DM.
He is the DM of Botched.
Yeah.
So Dennis is going to be here with us because he has a Kickstarter for his very first.
Just met his goal actually
for his very first comic, and he just met his goal earlier this week. But he has stretch goals, and his Kickstarter campaign goes until October 3rd, which is Sunday, and our next episode is on October 1st. So he's going to join us, and I think he's probably going to watch the movie with us. So I will really be interested to hear what he has to say about this movie. So come and see us next Friday at 8 o'clock, and we'll be hanging out with Dennis, and we'll talk about alchemy and comedy and nerd questions and chickens.
Who knows what else?
And whatever else comes in our heads. So that's all we got for tonight. We'll be back next week. If you're listening to the audio podcast, we would love a review on your podcast catcher apps that you use or podcast services. That'd be great. It's not that we need the validation, but it just helps people find us better if we get the good reviews. So that would be great.
I will beg for it. I will literally get on my knees and beg for it.
Connor's not above begging. I have pride. I'm not going to beg.
I do not.
No, you don't. That's true. You look like Geordie LaForge right now.
I know. White Geordie LaForge.
Wait. I was about to say a big, round-headed, bald, white Geordie LaForge. Yeah. That's a weird image. So for the people just listening to the podcast, yeah, you got to come to find the video on Twitch to see what we're talking about. So I'm going to try to stop coughing. Hashtag COVID. And we're going to get out of here.
Hashtag Pfizer.
I'm going to get out of here and go play some Xbox with my buddies, probably Destiny. I'm
going to binge watch Big Bang Theory some more.
And then we'll be back next Friday night to do this all over again. So
With a
come join us.
guest.
Come join us then. We appreciate all the folks who came in and hung out with us. It was really awesome to have folks here. So come back with us and see us next time. And always remember,
Stay nerdy, my friends. I can't see what I'm doing. I literally can't see. Yeah, how
Chase is a better dancer than I am.
How does Jordan Force do this? I literally can't see a thing.
It was a visor that he saw through.
He was blind anyway.
Bye, guys. See y'all later.
Peace.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.